On August 30th, a B-52 bomber left Minot Air Force Base for Barksdale Air Force Base. It was carrying 5 cruise missiles, each equipped with a live nuclear warhead. The incident was first reported in the Army Times. The sources for the article were 3 officers who asked not to be identified because, quote, they were not authorized to discuss the incident. What's going on here? Welcome to Collateral.
Dr. Strangelove, do we have anything like that in the works?
A moment, please, Mr. President.
The incident has caused a great deal of concern. For starters, it's not permitted for live nuclear weapons to be transferred by transport on bomber planes since at least 1991. Supposedly, these weapons were being decommissioned. But typically when that happens, they're broken down and sent on specially designed planes to prevent damage or leakage in the event of a plane crash. So is it all just some huge mistake? Well, that's what the military has said, but not everyone is convinced, to say the least. Most opinions about the incident fall into one of 2 camps. The first camp sees the event as a severe dereliction of duty, traceable to the declining standards that come with an increasing corporatized military. Just as in other segments of society, business concerns are having an undue influence on the military. Sometimes those business concerns can trump security concerns, and that could be what happened here. Against this conclusion, however, is the fact that there are stringent verification procedures for the handling of nuclear weapons all along the chain of custody. Storing weapons, transferring them, loading them, flying them, each step requires that thorough and redundant checks be done. A plausible scenario for just how these checks would have broken down hasn't been provided. The second camp believes that the incident was actually a purposeful act designed to send a message. Now remember that Barksdale Air Force Base is the main U.S. staging ground for missions to the Middle East. And remember also there's been a great deal of saber rattling lately from the Bush administration towards Iran. Several people have put 2 and 2 together and concluded that this so-called mistake was really meant to communicate the willingness of the Bush administration to attack Iran with nuclear weapons. From this perspective, the officers who leaked the information reflect mainstream military opinion that an attack on Iran, particularly with nuclear weapons, is lunacy. And thus, they leaked the information to help stop something terrible from happening. If this second perspective is the more accurate one, you can be sure that that won't be reflected in the internal review the military is currently conducting. We've attached some links in the end credits for your further consideration of this story. Hope to see you next week.
Radioactive half-life of... I would think that possibly 100 years.
You mean people could actually stay down there for 100 years?
It would not be difficult, mein Führer. Nuclear reactors could... I'm sorry, Mr. President.